My fellow Americans, living and dead and undead alike, on Friday, October 1st, 2020, the unspeakable happened. The President of the United States announced through the official presidential communication system known as Twitter that tonight at Flotus and I tested positive for COVID-19. We will begin our quarantine and recovery process immediately. We will get through this together! Right before 1 a.m. Friday. The First Lady tweeted, "As too many Americans have done this year, at Potus and I are quarantining at home after testing positive for COVID-19. We are feeling good and I have postponed all upcoming engagements. Please be sure you are staying safe and we will all get through this together." The White House has become afflicted with Coronachan? Oh, how could this be? Oh, the eternal shrieking cruelty of it all. If there was only a way this could have been prevented. Surely our Commander-in-Chief went about every precaution to avoid such an unfortunate malady. I'm certain he was heeding popular medical advice and not just making false claims about topics he was unqualified to speak on throughout the year. Doubtless, our appointed president had endeavored to learn all he could about the disease and to warn others of this viral severity over the past year, ensuring his administration followed the same safety procedures as leaders of tomorrow should. I am positive he was spending every day hammering home the practices of hand-washing, facial covering, and social distancing, as agreed by global health groups, to both the American people and to his contemporaries at large in hopes of stifling the spread of this virus throughout his ranks and, indeed, the world. If only his unwavering example served as a reflection of his abilities and not by the cruel hand of chance. How could we have possibly prevented this tragedy, this big sad called the plague? Well, come on down and place your bets, folks. This is 20-fucking-20. In this October, the scariest part of Halloween is going to be how the plague affects the next American election. What? Don't you know? Plagues have always been political, but this year, politics are all about the plague. Oh, fuck. So, what do you think? We're gonna do some multiple choice. A, the president is lying about his recent affliction to either garner sympathy or detract severity from the virus. B, someone's going to roll out a miracle cure just in time for the elections at the end of the month to cause even further division on how it's deployed. C, the president will perish from a sudden aggressiveness of the disease, and all hell will break loose from the resulting political and civil fallout. You sick bastards. D, the president will realize he made a mistake trying to downplay Coronachan through the year and decide to actually encourage his supporters to wear masks, wash hands, and practice social isolation. You know, or everyone's favorite option, E. It was all made up. The virus, the elections, this reality. Wake up. Break the simulation. Yog-Sothoth knows the gate. Yog-Sothoth is the gate. Yog-Sothoth is the key and the guardian of the gate. Past, present, future, all are one in Yog-Sothoth. He knows where the old ones broke through of old, and where they shall break through again. He knows where they have trod earth's fields, and where they still tread them. And know why no one can behold them as they tread. According to the CDC, the incubation for Coronachan is 2 to 14 days, so it's very likely the president was positive with Coronachan before the first debate. We still aren't sure how this will affect the next debate scheduled for next Wednesday. Also, it goes without saying that this story is evolving rapidly. Oh boy. For instance, info is developing, such as him being taken to the Walter Reed Medical Center for treatment, and his health condition being considered class mild, like the varying grades of some kind of disease hot sauce. Also, his doctor released a statement saying that he has been injected with an experimental Regeneron serum, referred to as an antibody cocktail, which sounds like something I would just make up if I got really high and watched Transformers, but nope, we are living in interesting times indeed. Regeneron antibody cocktail. Folks from all over this flaming dirtball, such as representatives from the World Health Organization and Vladimir Putin, have all sent their metaphorical thoughts and prayers to the president, hoping him a swift recovery. And his wife and administration, too, I'm sure. There's so many conflicting emotions and opinions on all this, and it will certainly ramp up as the election season just creeps forward. Holy, ever-loving carnival of shit! Where's my clown shoes? I do not like all this political stuff. I am not a political channel. I do not represent any political side of any major time period. I represent the consequences of the plague. And the plague does not choose sides. It seeks to be all-consuming if it's a good plague. Perhaps Trump would do well to just hold his tongue more often. Perhaps Biden would learn to practice his rhetoric a little better. Neither the major sides are good. They both have blood on their hands, as far as I'm concerned. I know veterans who curse Biden and Obama for their decisions concerning their health care coverage when they were in office. I have heard people condemn Trump and Pence for pushing for privatization of healthcare providers, which would ruin low-income houses who depend on state-ran healthcare. Neither party has their shit together as far as this plague doctor is concerned, so do not expect pity or pardon in either regard. Every human on this boiling flesh ball deserves to have health care when they need it, and access to medicines at the apothecary when they are ill from the local druggist. And pretending the entire Earth doesn't have what it takes to make that happen simply isn't true. For what it's worth, this plague doctor really does wish the president and his contemporaries a swift recovery. It is hard to learn from anything when you are dead, and if anything, this is indeed a learning experience for us all. So I invite you to perform a bit of an experiment with me. There's sayings that come to mind. Believe only half of what you see and nothing of what you hear. And the phrase, never let a good crisis go to waste. I feel like we live in an age of misinformation, as more often than not, it is preferable to the truth. So next time you pull up your newsfeed, your social media, your news networks, even this one, examine the way the messages are interacting with one another. Take the time to notice the languages being used. Ask yourself if you are being manipulated to think or feel a certain way. More often than not, it is true that news networks have a vested interest in portraying information in a certain way. There's money involved. Facebook, Google, Twitter, I'm sure many others have been caught manipulating data or distributing in uneven ways to its users, meaning that what you're looking at and what I'm looking at on the other end of the screen may not be the same thing. To me, it seems like everyone is engaged in this massive tug-of-war, where how you feel about the coronavirus is actually rather important. Whether you like it or not, you and I are stuck right in the middle of a global social experiment, where our opinion on Coronachan, no matter how we feel about it, no matter how benign or malignant, will have irrevocable implications to the global socio-economic landscape. People could live or die from our actions or inactions, and unlike other fake democracies, your opinion on the plague truly will determine whether or not it will win. So be mindful of the data that you take in, and the data that you also put out, because it is being taken into consideration for this experiment. Trust me. Look out for your fellow humans, peasant and king alike, for humans are weak, and the pestilence is strong. This plague is more than just biological. It lives in the realm of fear as well. Imagine yourself as a time traveler, out into the future looking back. And ask yourself if you were helping or harming humanity in the long run with your response to the plague of your generation. Take precautions for health and safety, but also fight for your freedom. It is up to you to find that balance. I'm not here to give you easy answers. All I'm going to say is, if you were wondering what you would be doing during the time of a great plague, guess what? You're doing it now. Until next time. It's October. I just want to carve jack-o'-lanterns and watch zombie movies. It's bullshit. We'll catch up later. Stay creepy.